Check. Okay, friends, gonna start soon. Just getting myself ready here. Okie dokie. Hi friends, how are you? Welcome back to Attack the Pantry. I am Jenn Vega. This stream is a deep dive into ingredients, cooking techniques, and recipes to help you cook for yourself during quarantine and, well, the rest of your adult life. So last time we talked about smoothies, my favorite condiments, and food world drama regarding Bon Appetit and Adam Rappaport. So much gossip happening. You can watch all the clips here from the past stream on this channel if you click on the videos link. Twitch deletes these streams after 2 weeks, so I'll also be uploading them to youtube.com/JENNDLV. So make sure to subscribe there if you can't watch at this regular time. So hi. I was also live on Sunday during Zine Dreams. That's the regular Sunday stream. We looked at Put an Egg on It, issue number 10, Witch Lich by my friend Don Carlos, and in Thanksgiving 2008 issue of Gourmet Magazine, which was very comforting and nice because Ruth Reichel says Thanksgiving isn't that far away from every food editor's mind. And I agree. I'm always thinking about Thanksgiving. How about you guys in the chat? Do you like Thanksgiving? I hope you're well. I hope you're all doing great. Can you hear me okay? Just want to make sure everything sounds good for you. So, hooray, I'm a Twitch affiliate. If you have capacity to subscribe to this channel, that helps me keep it going. You can also attach your Amazon account to Twitch Prime so that you can gift subscriptions to your favorite creators. Doesn't have to be me, but nice if it is me. You get a little crown in your name next to the chat. Just like Martin and Lucius. Exactly. Cool. Of course, there's tons of links below this video to all my work, all my projects, and ways to help me, make a life. A free thing you can do is share those links, tell people to follow me so that they can join in on the fun with us here. Because it's more fun with more people, right? Right? I had a new skate video go up, number 15 on Monday. I can't believe I have 15 of them. I'm actually a month ahead, or 10 videos ahead, so I'm currently editing number 25. So, time feels really weird. Anyway, this Friday we have a new episode of Fun Chatty, which is the behind-the-scenes podcast show of Fun City. We have my friend Anthony Carboni in the Zoom, as our first guest, and we talk about episodes 18 and 19, which are super fun. I hope you've heard them. If you haven't, it's a great time to catch up. On Monday, I also guested on the Critical Bits Twitch stream. Shannon and I talked for an hour about all the things I'm working on all the games I've been playing. We're raising money all week for Make-A-Wish Georgia. So the charity stream is happening this entire week. They have lots of activities on their channel. I'll be back on theirs at 1 p.m. on Friday, talking about being a woman of color in tabletop RPGs. And again, that will be on the Critical Bits Twitch channel. Hooray. Let's see. What happened on Patreon this week? We broke $200 a month. Thank you for joining me there. It's been so helpful, making, all the monthly bills much more affordable and easier for me to keep doing fun things. I'm just really grateful. But this past week, I posted about miso turnip brulee as part of my turnip study. I made a joke on Twitter, do y'all really want turnip recipes? Just because I know people are selling and buying turnips in Animal Crossing, and I'm not playing the game, but I asked, do you really want recipes? And people were like, yeah, actually. And so I'm sharing recipes from my archive on Patreon. I also published a monthly update of links and things I recommend, so if you missed that, head over to my Patreon page /ranwiches and you can catch up there. What else? A recipe for mofongo, which is mashed green plantains and garlic. I love it. And if you didn't see it, there's a secret skate video that's patrons only, because maybe I've done something illegal and I don't want to put it out publicly. That was an admission, right? I'm hoping to submit my final design and first episode of Culinary Word of the Day this weekend. I've been so busy with freelancing stuff that I haven't been able to launch this podcast, but I'm so excited. I want to get it out into the world. I also need help from you to submit words that you want to be learning about. So if you go to Culinary WOTD on Twitter, there is a pinned tweet of my submission form. So if you have a moment to help me out and generate some words that I can make podcasts about, I would be so grateful. Yes. Link to my Etsy store is below. I have my cookbooks in there now. Hooray. That's been really wonderful. I've been mailing out, 4 or 5 a day, so it's been really nice to make some room in my closet. Yeah. What else? Let's take a look at what everybody cooked this week. So if you want to be in this segment of the show, just simply tag me on Instagram or Twitter with your cooking photos or cooking videos. I'm happy to show off your successes and your mistakes, and you can ask questions. Mistakes are hilarious and a learning lesson for all of us, so don't worry about it. Don't feel pressured to participate either way, but if you do have photos to share, make sure you tag me on social and I will get it in here. But let's check out what we've made this week. So Martin, who's in the chat, sent this beautiful Chioggia beet pasta. It's so fresh looking, right? It's penne, mozzarella, the beets, and basil. Is that right? Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Jeff, as always, sends over beautiful food. So these are tacos. Looks like bacon, jalapeno, and like peaches on the side. Oh, and scrambled egg. It's a very colorful taco. Wonderful. We also have fried chicken from Dylan. Look at the crust on this baby. Look at that. Oh, nice. Very nice fat rendering. All that juice at the bottom, too. I feel like this is my platter, but I just won't make a big deal out of it. I moved out of there like a while ago. Dylan's still using my stuff. Let's see. We got Vance had salmon fillets with dill, broccoli, rice, and tomatoes. Super fresh. Super fresh. And then again, Dylan with the ramen. This is miso ramen with like dumplings in it. That's a good add-on, getting frozen dumplings from the store and then adding it to instant ramen. Good ideas. Good ideas. Let's see. What have I been up to the past couple weeks? Like, I forgot to load the photos last week, so this is a little bit of a catch-up. Let's see. So I shopped at this Filipino store for a freelance job that I'm doing, and they needed to place a minimum on my order. So I started adding things that I personally wanted. I don't like to sneak in like too many like things for myself because I just don't have room in my fridge. But this one time, I ordered bangus, which is a milkfish. So it's like a Filipino fish that is, so it looks like a normal fish, like a skinny fish, right? And then it's filleted down the middle, like lengthwise, and it looks like a giant, like, I don't know, butterfly wings? It's butterflied. And it's marinated in vinegar overnight, and then I fried it. And you can see here that I covered it in Burmese tea leaf salad dressing, which is called Loaf, and some cayenne pepper. And it's sitting over some garlic fried rice. This is very Filipino. It's just missing a fried egg. I just didn't feel like it. I feel like there's a lot of fish. And the next day, when I tried to eat the bangus, like, milkfish is very creamy. Like, it doesn't flake like tuna does. Like, you know how you have tuna salad and it's, like, flaky? Well, bangus is very creamy. So, for next time. I think it's on the account of the high fat content. A neighborhood bar opened again. One Stop Beer Shop is open for business. I've been so happy because I literally have nothing over here. I mean, I cook a majority of the time for myself, but every once in a while, I would like someone else to cook for me. And so, One Stop Beer Shop is kind of a regular haunt for me. I love getting a beer and a shot, and they had free popcorn. And so, the free popcorn has like cayenne pepper and like lime and seasoning salt and olive oil. And so, they bagged it up for everybody who was buying food last week. This is a giant pretzel. I love it with their mustard. And then below that is a meatloaf sandwich. I've never really grown up or was familiar with meatloaf, but so far I know this is the best one I've had. I guess I need to experience more meatloaf. But you can see here the bread is like oiled or buttered, and it's been grilled like in a panini press. And then instead of lettuce that wilts really easily, they've got Napa cabbage, a big slice of tomato, and the meatloaf was like super soft and good. So One Stop Beer Shop is open again if you live in Greenpoint. So nice. Yes. And they were also giving away free shots with every order, so I was standing there and like doing a shot in the street. It's very, New York is like the Wild West right now. It's like New Orleans. We can drink in the street now because the mayor deemed alcohol, you know, a vital part of our food economy here. Least of our problems, you know, got other things going on in the world. I also played around with a very ripe papaya. I kind of don't like papaya by itself, like as a fruit for snacking. I don't know. I think I'm a little traumatized from when I was a teenager and one of my teeth fell out while I was eating a papaya. Sorry about that. But this is an experiment that I played with last week. I thought, you know, if I shave papaya with a vegetable peeler, it kind of looks like fish. It kind of looks like salmon, doesn't it? So this is a Papaya Quinilao, which is a Filipino version of ceviche. And so it's got bits of watercress, crispy onion, urfa pepper, olive oil, and a little fish sauce to make it actually taste like fish. It was pretty good, but kind of a lot of work because ripe papaya is very squishy, and so these were super, super delicate. I'll figure out a better method for this. What else? I had been selling Burmese salads in my shop. This is from my friends at Mama O's. I feed them lunch periodically. And so it's got like shredded cabbage, 2 different colors, roasted butternut squash, a grilled chorizo you can see up there. That dark ball of meat at the top is bola bola, which is a deep fried Filipino meatball with fish sauce in it. In the corners, you can't see it, but there's calamansi, shredded radish, and I forget there was one more thing. Oh, toasted chickpea flour. That's a new condiment I'm like incorporating into my cooking as like a salad condiment. It's pretty good. Adds like a nutty level to it. Oh, new news. Another revenue stream, if you will. I'm selling masks on Spoonflower. So if you go to spoonflower.com and search for Randwiches, I have a barbecue fabric pattern that is now available in fully sewn masks. They have 3 sizes in regular shape, and they have a gaiter style. Like, I've never heard of gaiter as a word, Gaiter, but it's more of like a sport lycra that goes over your nose and then covers your whole neck and cinches in the back. So those are up on Spoonflower. I get commissions from them. If you are sewing your own masks, you can also buy bulk fabric in this pattern if you like it. But Spoonflower is also a really great website for finding fabric in general. So they've got all sorts of colors and patterns by independent artists. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about it, is that independent artists, if you have graphics like this and like designs, you can turn them into fabric and make your own things. There's also like dish towels and tablecloths and pillowcases. So if my pattern is not for you, there are tons of others and lots of independent artists that you can support by going to spoonflower.com. All right. What else? I picked up these beautiful greens from the McGolrick Park Farmers Market last Sunday. Brooklyn Grange was donating all of their proceeds to Black Lives Matter, and so they raised about like $5,600 on Sunday with all the sales. I could not eat all of this myself. On the right, we have fresh chamomile flowers that I discovered you could actually eat. Like, besides making tea, you can actually eat them, like in a salad. You can see there's chives up front, and then on the left, the other yellow flowers that don't have white petals on them, those are flowering broccoli. It's kind of like a cross between broccoli rabe and, I don't know, an edible flower. It is kind of like broccoli rabe, but it has a lot more stem. It's really nice also in salads, but also roasted and put in a sandwich. I've been putting it in stir fries and chopping it up and putting on quesadilla pizzas that I've been making for myself. That sounds silly. And then the tiny thing, purple thing in the middle, those are chive flowers. So chives have also edible flowers, and they look like a little dandelion puff, but you can separate them out and like sprinkle it onto things. So if you see that at the farmer's market, I recommend them. Also, big news, I got my first skateboard sponsorship, technically. This is so silly. This is a time lapse of me opening the box. Thank you very much to Nick and Shayna Brewer in Austin, Texas for donating this longboard boy to me as I keep learning how to skateboard. They had this skateboard in their closet and they weren't doing anything with it, and so they asked if I would like it, and you can see here in the time lapse that I'm putting the trucks on for the first time. I honestly looked at my current skateboard and how it was laid out and was like, okay, this is how we put it together. And this is the final product. Yeah, there's gonna be a video in a couple weeks of me trying it out for the first time, but exciting. I got skate shoes and now a board. Can't wait to shred. Can't wait. Oh, Lucius has a neck gaiter for skiing. Okay, that makes sense. Oh. You've seen things like nettles at the farmer's market, but never gotten any since you don't know what to do with it. Maybe we'll talk about nettles on the next stream. I had a hell of a time the first time I cooked nettles. I got hurt. They are barb. They have lots of barbs. But anyway, that's what's up with me this week. So, how are we doing in the chat? How is everybody? Have you been going out to protests? Have you been staying in? Have you been trying new foods? What's going on with y'all? While I get this next thing ready. I'm also gonna put an egg on me. Let's put omelet. Hi, omelet. I'll take a drink of water before I get started here. Okay. So. Ooh, my screen. Oops, my screen blacked out for a second. Okay. So, today we are going to talk about spinach, kohlrabi, and one from me, bitter melon. I asked a bunch of people on Facebook, what do you do with bitter melon? And I'm going to share their answers with you. I learned a lot from it. Excuse me. But first, we're going to talk about spinach. Thank you, Lucius, for asking this question. So what do we think of when we think of spinach? I think all of us that are watching and participating right now are relatively the same age. So I think we think of Popeye, eating cans of the stuff, and he gets really strong. When I was little, I was already like, this is propaganda. Because I knew the disparity between the image in the cartoon as a hero's food that makes him super strong to what I saw in reality. Canned spinach looks gross. It's wilty, it's dark green, it's scary, it has a overcooked, particularly dead leaf smell. So when I was a kid, I hated it. But, as an adult, we learn later that for every 100 grams or one serving raw, it has about 25 calories, 2.8 grams of protein, tiny smidge of fat, 1.6 grams of carbohydrates, 2.8 grams of fiber, and 21% of daily recommended iron. So it is really good for you, but may not have the same, immediate Popeye effect as in the cartoon. So looking at them, let's look at them. Excuse me. So you can see here, they're beautiful. So the dark green color of spinach, this is what, lots of concentrations of chlorophyll looks like. Along with that, there are carotenoids, which include beta-carotene, lutein, and zeaxanthin. So these phytochemicals have an anti-inflammatory and anti-cancerous properties that are especially important for your eyesight and helping to prevent any kind of macular degeneration, and cataracts. So, not just carrots are good for your eyes, but spinach is also good for your eyes. Spinach belongs to the Chenopodiaceae family, also known as goosefoot. You can see that if you look at the texture of it, it has webbing just like a goosefoot. Slap, 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 slap. So this is in the same family as beets, chard, and quinoa. Cool. In 2018, world production of spinach was 26.3 million tons. Wow. With China alone accounting for 90% of the total. In the United States, we're the second largest producer of spinach. We produce 3% of the world output. Yes. In California, they produce 73% of our total output, and Arizona and New Jersey follow suit. Wow. New Jersey and Arizona, I wouldn't really think of, spinach land. Yeah, so spinach has had sort of a bad rap. Around 2006, an outbreak of E. coli was recorded in over 100 cases, including 5 deaths. The E. coli was linked to bags of fresh organic spinach after the FDA issued a warning not to eat. So E. coli was discovered on bagged spinach, and then the FDA said not to eat uncooked, like fresh salad spinach or products containing it anymore. And so after kind of our country recovered from that, it got worse again. In 2007, later in August, Rewind. So by 2007, there were 206 reported illnesses and 3 deaths in addition to that. Blah, it's insane. It didn't stop there. The next year, 8,000 cartons of spinach from Metz Fresh, a King City-based grower and shipper in Salinas, California, recalled all of these cartons of spinach after salmonella was discovered on routine testing. Ooh. You wouldn't expect this on fresh leaves that you're supposed to just be picking from a plant, right? So consumer advocates and some lawmakers complained it exposed significant gaps in food safety, even if 90% of suspect vegetables did not reach the shelves. So from then, a lot of steps were taken to protect, irrigation channels and transportation of vegetables. Yeah. So this is even more of a reason to buy from local farms and sources you trust. So adding more of these contacts from a farm 3,000 miles away, facility to facility, exposes the vegetables to more chance of contamination. So that is my soapbox moment of buying local. Yeah. So luckily spinach hasn't had a terrible outbreak recently. That honor felt to romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce had a terrible outbreak recently. But spinach, not so much. People still have a little bit of a stigma against spinach for their parents, making them eat it when they were young, or remembering this 2006-2007 E. coli and salmonella outbreak. Ew. But if it comes from a farm you trust and know locally, and you can trace it to where it comes from, then it should relatively be safe. So, getting technical here. Spinach, Spinacia oleracea. That's a lot. That's a mouthful. Spinacia oleracea. It's a leafy green flowering plant native to Central and Western Asia. So, the English word spinach dates back to the late 14th century from espinach. Espinach? Sorry, I don't know how to do a French accent. It comes from the French word épinard. And people don't actually know where that word comes from. So, épinard, espinach to spinach. to the aggressive American, spinach. So it's thought to have originated about 2,000 years ago in ancient Persia. And then after that, it was introduced to India and ancient China via Nepal in 647 AD. It was known as the Persian vegetable that whole time. It wasn't really known as spinach until later in the 14th, 15th century. So, spinach first appeared in England and France in the 14th century and gained common use because it appeared in early spring when fresh local vegetables were not available yet year-round. So, the first time spinach is mentioned in the first English cookbook is in form of curry. So, F-O-R-M-E of C-U-R-Y, so curry missing an R. This was published in 1390, where it's referred to as spinach or spinaches. Spinach and spinaches. This is really fun. Saying all these names. Also, during World War I, wine fortified with spinach juice was given to injured French soldiers with the intent to curtail their bleeding. So it has lots of health benefits. Can you imagine having a spinach wine? I don't know. I would try it. So there are 3 different types of spinach generally available. There's Savoy, semi-Savoy, and smooth leaf. And the Savoy, like the really curly, veiny kind, is what it's pictured above my head. And so the less veins it has, that is semi-Savoy, and then smooth leaf is the ones you see in the plastic bins or plastic containers. Those are the smooth leaf. So it's currently in season, hooray, at our farmers markets here, generally from March to June. So grab the fresh stuff while you can. It can be eaten raw or cooked. It's also commonly available frozen, as I mentioned before, canned, and then also dehydrated. I don't mean to discount canned, like it is a viable source of food. I would just wring it out and drain it as much as possible. Also with the frozen after it's been defrosted, because all that water will get into your food. It's just, you get more texture and it won't get so mushy when you wring it out. Wring it out like a towel, you know? So fresh spinach, what are you looking for? It should be medium to dark green. Should look fresh. No, you shouldn't see any yellowing holes, bite marks, or decay. Like it should not be wilty or wet unless it was just sprayed, but it should still feel crisp in your hand. It should be stored loosely packed in a plastic bag or a plastic bin in the fridge where it will keep about 4 days. What I like to do is take all of it out and put it in a bowl. Put a dry paper towel at the bottom of the container, put the spinach back on, and then do a damp paper towel that's been wrung out, and then put that on top, and then put the lid back on. Do not, I repeat, do not wash your spinach before storing. Use only the damp paper towel trick, because more moisture will cause it to, decay faster. Because these leaves are alive, they're trying to respirate, and so as they respirate, it's like it's breathing against plastic, so don't wash it. So raw spinach has this mild taste that sometimes can taste a little metallic. So to combat that, you can steam it, you can saute it, you can microwave it. Don't boil it, because then you're adding more moisture content to it. You also lose a lot of the nutrients to that boiling water, unless use that boiling water to make a broth with something else. So keep all the nutrients in the family, everybody. All right. So when you're cooking with spinach, think about it when you're improvising. It still has tons of high water content. So this much handful will reduce in size by a quarter. So if you're going to be throwing it into a soup, throwing it into a hot stir fry, and you want spinach, add double what you think, because it's going to it's going to shrink. So some flavor notes. It pairs really well with nutmeg. So in any cream-based sauces or cheesy spinach situations, grate a little nutmeg in there for some more dimension. It loves garlic. Spinach and garlic just simply sauteed is amazing. So good. It's really versatile. I said you can cook it with dairy, you can have it with fish and meat as a side. Spinach dip or spinach artichoke dip. My mom would get a big bread bowl, like she would get a big bowl and hollow out the center, put the spinach dip in there, and then like score the rest of the bread. So, and then bake that, and then you could pull it apart and like dip it. Oh, it was so fun. Maybe I should make that soon. Ooh, spinach artichoke dip in a bread bowl. Yeah. You can also have creamed spinach as a side. They use the addition of butter and heavy cream. You can have casseroles. You can make frittatas. You can make kuku sabzi. If you don't know what that is sort of an omelet situation with lots of herbs. It's very thick and lovely. I said you can steam the spinach. You can also add it to salads and soups. And let's not forget, there are tons of pasta dishes. In Italian cuisine, if you see the name Florentine, like anything Florentine, it definitely has spinach in it. So Alfredo Florentine, an omelet Florentine, eggs Benedict Florentine, eggs Florentine, excuse me, not eggs Benedict. You can stuff them into cannelloni with ricotta cheese. You can make a lasagna and put the spinach in between the layers. You can make it into a pate called pakali. That's P-K-A-L-I. With walnuts, and then dress it with pomegranate seeds. That's actually one of my new favorites of eating my greens in general. A vegetable pate. It's been so good. You can also put spinach in smoothies. We talked about that last week. You can have a green smoothie. Lots of water content. It will mix in there very nicely. And you can also make veggie burgers and meatballs. But again, just make sure that the spinach is wrung out before you add them to any kind of meat mix. Otherwise, it will be watery and fall apart. Yes. What else? How else do you guys like to eat spinach? Please tell me. Any other spinach questions? Look at this lovely bowl of spinach. What type of spinach is this above my head again? There are 3 types. This one looks like a goose's foot. This one is called Savoy. Okay, so that is it about spinach. I hope that was helpful. Let's put another egg on me. Let's do poached egg. Hello, poached egg. How are you? Make it smaller. Cool. Yeah, sometimes Lucia says, sometimes I get spinach that has pointy leaves, sometimes they're round. So the pointy leaves are either Savoy or semi-Savoy, and then the round ones that are flat with no veining, those are, what did I call it? See, I don't remember the third one. Savoy, semi-Savoy, and smooth leaf. Oh, it's so obvious I forgot it. Smooth leaf. Yeah, those round ones are smooth. Cool. So, next up, we're going to talk about kohlrabi. My friends, kohlrabi. Let's take a look at it. Are you guys familiar with kohlrabi? Emily asked about this. Emily LaFay. Look at that. Look at that bulb. So kohlrabi is unique in that it has all these, leafy growths on the outside of the bulb. So like beets and turnips, they don't have this stem coming straight out of the bulb. You can see that it has greens, kohlrabi greens. Do kohlrabi greens look familiar? Don't they look like collard greens? Or like chard? Cool. Oh no, I lost the... Okay, here, we're gonna bring it back. So that is a kohlrabi. Okay, you've seen these at the market, but you've never bought them. Okay, cool. So the first time I had kohlrabi was forced on me through a CSA. I don't even think I saw it at the store before then. Lots of people like when they have CSAs, complain about getting stuck with these during the winter. So I am here to rescue you and tell you about all the different things that you can do with it. So kohlrabi comes from the German for cabbage turnip. It is technically called a Brassica oleracea, and it comes from the Gongolodes group. German turnip, wow. Let's see. It is a stout cultivar of wild cabbage. It's the same species as cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts, collard greens, Savoy cabbage, and gailan. Gailan, I think we should talk about on a future stream. So, you can use both the stems and the leaves. Despite it having like a German turnip name, it is not actually the same species as a turnip. So I mentioned those leaves earlier. You can use them anywhere. You can use kale or collard greens. So totally edible as long as they're not wilty and sad and gross. So its name, Kohlrabi, comes from the German Kohl for cabbage and Rube or Rabi for turnip. Because the swollen stem, it resembles a turnip. Look at these people naming things that look like other things, but they're not actually related. It's like, again, that for the Uber of vegetables, it's the turnip of this, you know? The turnip of cabbages. So it's commonly eaten in German-speaking countries, here, and especially in Wisconsin, because there's a German population there. So, that group name, Gongolodes, is the word roundish in Greek. Gongolodes, roundish. Thank you, Greece. In northern parts of Vietnam, it is called su hao, and in eastern parts of India, it is called ol kopi. Love that. Oh, wait, do I have a chart? No, I don't have a chart. Sorry, I thought I had a chart for this one. I am showing it to you. Never mind, it's above my head. Let's see, what else? In Sri Lanka, it's called nol kol. In Cyprus, it's called kulumpra. And then in Czech Republic, it is called kedlubin or keblubna. In Slovakia, it's known as kalerab. And in Romania, it's guli. Like Julie, but with a G. Guli. Yeah. So, you'll see them in the store, mostly with the bulbs, just as the bulbs. But if you do see them at the market with the greens, like, don't pass that up. The greens are great and delicious and useful. They can be eaten raw in salads. They can be sautéed, just like you would mustard greens. They come in white, purple, sometimes yellow with a tinge of green, and then the ones here are green whitish. It can be eaten raw or cooked. It does need a little bit of prep. You should always peel off this tough outer layer of the bulb with a vegetable peeler. So the taste and texture, it's similar to broccoli stem, or like the very, very middle of a cabbage. But, you know, milder and sweeter with a high ratio of more flesh to skin. Yeah, it can be as crisp as an apple, although, like, much, much less sweet. So, yeah. According to The Kitchen, kohlrabi is found in a lot of Indian cooking, so it naturally does well with traditional Indian spices like asafoetida, fenugreek, mustard seed, curries. Makes sense. I've never seen that, but I am willing to try. Yeah. But kohlrabi, you know, is pretty mild, so it's kind of like a filler, or if, you know, it makes a dish heartier. If it gets mixed with too many other vegetables, you tend to lose it. So when you're cooking with kohlrabi, try to keep it simple so that you can savor it and, you know, feature it. You can have it raw, so you can slice it super, super thin, like vegan ravioli. I don't know if you've ever tried that, but if you take 2 thin sheets of kohlrabi, or even beet works for this, and put like a vegan cashew cheese in the middle, and then like seal it up. It's like vegan ravioli. It's great. You can zoodle it or make vegetable noodles out of kohlrabi. You can julienne it very thinly and throw it into a slaw. This is a pretty traditional way of eating it. So not just in a slaw with cabbage, but also just like mayonnaise and kohlrabi as like a cold salad itself is a thing. You can also toss in apples to give it a little bit of sweetness. It can be boiled first and then pureed into a soup. You can have it as a side like mashed potatoes. You can use it as like a topping of a shepherd's pie. You can fry it in fritters and latkes. You can make them into French fries. They won't have the same texture, but you can still fry them technically. You can use it anywhere you would eat jicama. So for me, I use jicama in lumpia or egg rolls, and you can replace the jicama with kohlrabi. Anywhere you would use water chestnut, you can use kohlrabi. You can put it in stir fry. You can roast it simply just with olive oil, salt, and pepper. You can also bake it in a gratin, you know, like you would have scalloped potato gratin. And then you could stuff it like you would an onion, you know. But also simply you can steam it and have it with rice and your favorite chili sauce. That seems simplest. But yeah, tons of things you can do with kohlrabi. We'll mostly see those in the fall. Oh, Edison, hello. Welcome. Latkes, come on. Yes, you can do latkes. So that is kohlrabi. How else do you guys eat kohlrabi? If you have ideas, I'd love to hear them. Okay, let's put another egg on me. It's really fun to put eggs on me. Egg. Fried egg. Put an egg on my shoulder. Okay, so actually I need to go get the last one. 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, so ready for our last ingredient? I didn't get enough suggestions for this last one because I asked myself, I asked on Facebook, what people do with bitter melon. Whoa, it looks much greener on the screen than it is in real life. I think it's just the light I have in here. You see this bumpy thing? It looks like a giant, like, pickle, doesn't it? Oh, I gotta use it soon. The end is getting wilty. Let's talk about bitter melon. My friends, how many of you have had a bitter melon? So I've always known it as ampalaya. It's known as bitter gourd or Mormordica carantia. The Wikipedia page for this is hilarious. It says Mormordica carantia because pretty much every country has a name for this thing. Like, I don't know what it is about all the other vegetables that have like only one or two names. Maybe that's the politics of how things were exported and imported, but this one has a million names. It's a tropical vine that belongs to the gourd family and is closely related to zucchini, squash, pumpkin, and cucumber. So it's widely grown in Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean, and this is technically a fruit, and it differs in size and shape and level of bitterness. So it really is a bitter melon. Oi. I thought it was like just a name, and when I had it for the first time, I was like, that's bitter. Let's see. Lucius says, I must have had bitter melon in some Chinese dishes. For sure. Yeah, it does kind of look like an English cucumber, doesn't it? Because it's very long. This one's pretty long. So let's look at another, let's see, I have an ingredient photo here of it. Bitter melon. So that one's like real bumpy. You can see it's sitting on a bed of, looks like mint, or the vines. I think that's where it's growing, right? It's growing on vines. And then we've got tomato and some sili, or chili pepper. That's Tagalog for chili. Sili, S-I-L-I. So, They can get real bumpy. That is much bumpier than the one I have. Wow. Crazy. So, in Hindi, it's called Karela. And across pretty much most of India, it's some derivative of that. Karelo, Karel, Karli. In Assamese, it's also Karela. Bengali, Korola. In Sri Lanka, it's Karavila. Oh, that's beautiful. In Haitian Creole, it is Asosi. In the Seychelles, it's Margaux. Wow. Mandarin, it's Kugwa. In Korean, it's Yeju. In Japanese, Nigauri. Sounds like Nigori, which is a sake. In Tagalog, like I said, it's Ampalaya. What else? Malaysian, it's Paria. In Vietnam, it is Kokwa. In Thailand, it's Marakinok. And in Burmese, Kaya Thinga. Oh, I love that. Kaya Thinga. Give me that Kaya Thinga. I know, isn't it nice? I like it. I like that when a vegetable or a fruit has millions of names, because that means more people are experiencing it. And that there's no, like, I don't know, forcing of a name on a culture. Like, it seems like with all the other cultivated vegetables that are really popular in America, they came from, like, Spain and France and just stuck with one name for all of eternity. But this, I feel like, has much more life to it, which is so cool to think about, right? So this is a Chinese version. They're typically long, pale green, covered with the wart-like bumps that you see. The Indian version is more narrow and has pointy ends with rough, jagged spikes on the end. But, you know, it's all right. All of these things can be taken off with a peeler. 1 cup of raw bitter melon provides 20 calories, 4 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 93% of your vitamin C intake for the day, 44% vitamin A, 8% potassium, 5% zinc, and 4% iron of your recommended daily intake. That is a lot of healthy stuff. So thanks to its potent medicinal properties, it's been used by a lot of indigenous populations around the world to help treat diabetes-related conditions. In recent years, there are studies that have proven that it has a role in controlling your blood sugar. Wow. So healthy, bitter melon, I never knew. So when you're cooking with it, you might see some recipes to peel it. For this bumpy variety, you don't really have to, but if you have the spiky variety and don't want to bite into that, you can lightly run a peeler over it and you'll take them off. And it's kind of impossible to completely peel something like this because of all the grooves, so I would just kind of let it go if you have a Chinese version. So when you do open it up, it has pith and seeds going down the center of it, just like a watermelon has seeds in the middle. But the pith is like really spongy and soft, so you can just get that out of there with a spoon. And so it creates this like C-shaped trough. So if you cut this in half, it's got like the pith in the middle, and you just run a spoon down the middle, and then you're left with like this trough. Yeah. So it's very, very bitter when it's raw, but to counteract that, you can soak it in cold water and drain that to get rid of some of the strong flavors. So in China, you'll find it in soups, in dim sum, and herbal teas, because it's associated with health, so makes sense that it would be in teas. It's also been used in place of hops as a bittering agent in some beers in China and Okinawa. I am very curious to try a bitter melon beer. That sounds crazy good. If you see a brand, I want to see a picture of it. That's insane. So in Northern Indian cuisine, it's often served with yogurt on the side to offset all this bitterness. So like acidity and like creaminess from yogurt with bitterness makes sense. It's also used in curries and sabzi, like what I said earlier, kuku sabzi, which is like an eggy thing with lots of herbs. And so you can chop up vegetables and put it in there. Yum, 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 yum. Let's see. In Nepal, it's prepared as a fresh pickle. Whoa. Wow, that's so cool. It's also stuffed in with potatoes. Yo, that sounds great. In Burmese cuisine, bitter melon is sautéed with garlic, tomatoes, and spices, and dried shrimp, and served as an accompaniment to other dishes. Kind of like how achara is served as a side in Filipino cuisine. So bitter melon has taken that role in Burma. What else? In Vietnamese cuisine, raw bitter melon slices, are eaten with dried meat floss. There's also bitter melon soup with shrimp. It's stuffed with ground pork. What else? Yeah, there's lots of good stuff. Whoa. In the Philippines, we have Pinakbet, which is what I know how to do with it. Like, that is the most common thing you'll see in my family is Pinakbet. It is bitter melon, eggplant, okra, string bean, tomato, lima beans, all stewed together in a shrimp paste stock. So it's eaten over rice. It is delicious. In Trinidad and Tobago, they're sautéed with onion, garlic, and Scotch bonnet pepper until it's crisp, like almost crisp. Ooh, I might want to do that. You can juice a bitter melon, for your juicing routine if you have a juicer. You can mix it into your next stir fry. You can have it with raw tomato and garlic in scrambled eggs. Yes. Beef stir fry is pretty common. You can simply saute it with shrimp paste. You can shave it real thin for a salad. What else? You can stuff it with ground meat and vegetables and serve it with black bean sauce. There is a bitter melon soup called kan ko kwa. I think that's probably the one that I want to get. I got some ground pork for that. Should be good. And in general, when you're working with bitter melon, just remember when you're balancing bitter flavors, you counteract it by introducing something salty, sweet, or sour. So you can soften it in a salad by adding a lemony vinaigrette or putting Parmesan cheese on top, for umami. Yeah. And also cooking it off will help you take down some of the bitterness. But let's see. We had some suggestions from Facebook. So sauteed in garlic and onions with shrimp and shrimp paste. Yeah. Ginisang ampalaya with beef strips. So that's the sauteed stir-fried beef strips with bitter melon. We've got sauteed garlic, onion, tomato, tofu, chicken broth, and a little cornstarch. That makes a little bit of a gravy. That sounds nice. Cook it with pork and coconut milk. Damn. My mom says use it as a salad, salt it to take the bitterness away, rinse, slice thinly first, then mix with onions, make it like achara with rice vinegar. Wow. Serve crunchy with fried fish. Okay, Mom, thanks. And then, Instant Pot Masala Stuffed Karela. This was shared by my friend Marie. It sounds so good. Yo. Mom makes a soup with it. She cuts it into 2 3-inch cylinders, stuffs it with pork, and makes it into soup. Wow. I want that. That sounds so good. And then Jem in Australia said kan ko kwa. That's the one I'm excited about. I think I want to do that. Stuff it with pork, mushrooms, and mung beans, then cook it in a nice clear chicken broth. Wow. I have mung beans. I don't have mushrooms though. Dang. Are there any other ways you guys have had bitter melon? Any recommendations? Edison asks, any recommendations for trying bitter melon for the first time? I would try it in a soup because the soup will dilute it the most. Because raw, it's a very acquired taste. It's very bitter. But if you are going to try it raw, the few tricks that I mentioned earlier are to salt it and let it sit and then squeeze it out, or soak it in cold water and agitate it a little bit, and then it will be less bitter. This is a bitter melon, my friend. Okay. Cool. So that brings us to our last segment of the day, friends. Let's put another egg on me. A hard-boiled egg, hello. All right, do you all have suggestions for next week? I think next week we should talk about what? Gailan was one. What should we talk about next week? You can go ahead and throw suggestions in the chat or tweet me later if you think of something. Strawberries. Yes, strawberries are in season for sure. Strawberries and Gailan for sure. Anyone else has other suggestions? You can throw them in the chat. Strawberries. Strawberries. I swear I can spell it. Gailan. Okay. Cool. Okay, friends, we have reached the part of the stream where we pretend we're on Chopped. So, in the chat, if you could suggest an ingredient, and we'll try to work together to mash them up and come up with new dishes. So this exercise is for all of us to come up with more dishes and expand our minds about what each of these ingredients can do. Yeah, of course, Edison. I got you. So in the chat, let's name off like 3 or 4 ingredients, and then we'll try to think of ways they can go together. I will take a drink of water while I wait, friends. What should we mash up today? Got some background music for you. Oh, my Twitter name is this. It is Randwiches. Shoot, what happened last weekend? Let me know. I can at least give you advice for next time you do the recipe that you're... Oh, duck. All right. We got duck. What else, everybody? Tomato. We got duck and tomato so far. Maybe 1 or 2 more ingredients. It's like we're on a Food Network show. Join me. This is great. Duck and tomato. All right. Duck and tomato. Let's work with this while we wait for another ingredient. If anyone has another idea for an ingredient, I'd love to add it to this mix. But so far, let's think about duck. So duck is high in fat, and it roasts just like a chicken. You can braise it, you can broil it, you can fry it, you can do so many things, but it gives off so much fat. So I think rendering the fat off the duck is something that we can also work with. Like treating the duck fat as like a third ingredient, or like, you know, olive oil or like bacon fat. You're out of veg, to be quite honest. I have a bunch of chia seeds I don't know what to do with, though. Oh, you were looking for that Asian spice we were at the market. Shoot. Okay, wait. So chia seeds, tomatoes, and duck. I would say that chia seeds are kind of like tomato seeds. Isn't that weird? All right, let's try to mash up duck, tomato, and chia seeds. So if you have ideas on how these ingredients can work together, you can use 2 of them, or you can use all 3, but the exercise is about, like, you know, spitting out, like, weird ideas that we could try someday, you know, like, sky's the limit, friends. So, yeah, duck can be cooked a variety of ways. It also has duck fat. Savory chia, whoa. Yeah, I've also never really used chia seeds myself, but we did do a stream about them like a couple months ago. So you need to hydrate the chia seeds for 10 minutes in water, and then they become kind of pudding-like. Like, it's kind of like tapioca, but much smaller. But, yeah. Oh, savory chia sounds great. Oh, curveball applesauce. All right, let's play. All right. So we got applesauce, we got chia seeds, we got tomato, and a duck. You can make a congee. We could do like a chilled chia congee. Yes. with like a little bit of like a dollop of applesauce, some shredded duck. Yes. Cool. That is a cool idea. We can also, let's see. We can make a tomato sauce. We could do like a duck bolognese. We can make chia seed crackers as like a kind of a garlic bread, you know? That sounds fun. We can also spread the applesauce on a dehydrator sheet and make apple leather. So we could put that on the with chia seeds. Oh yeah, chia and apple leather. Yum. I've never tried tomato leather, but I think I've read on some blogs that you can make like tomato fruit roll-up. Oh, I mean, this is an exercise. This is just fun to think about it. Ooh, chia cracker bruschetta with duck. Hell yeah, that's a great idea. You're thinking, yeah, thinking outside the box. I like that. That's cool. You can even just mash up 2 of the ingredients. Like, don't feel pressure to use all 4. Like, you know, tomato, apple, fruit leather. Or, we could do salsa. You'd kill it in supermarket stakeout? I don't even know that one. Yeah. Bruschetta idea is a good idea. Yeah, for sure. What else? So duck can be pulled. It can be made like pulled pork. It can be made into floss. So it can be made into duck jerky and duck floss. So we could have like, you know, like earlier, bitter melon with duck floss and tomato. Sounds good. Stuffed tomato with chia seeds and cooked in duck fat. Whoa, that sounds decadent as heck. I wonder if you can use chia seeds as breading. Like if we ground it, like into a flour, chia flour, you could bread it. You could use it as breading. So like Kentucky Fried Duck with chia seed crunchy outside. This is fun. Oh, I like this. I like this combination. This is so interesting. So let's think about like, you know, traditional duck recipes and how we can sneak in those other things, right? So if we had like a Peking duck, how would we sneak in a tomato? Yeah, every time you do a chop, you go straight for a sandwich. Yeah, you could do a sandwich. We could do like a duck salad, you know, like chicken salad, but with duck and like chopped tomato. A DLT. Duck, lettuce, tomato. Chicken fat, duck fat chia. Whoa. Yeah, Peking duck, but with chia pancakes and applesauce dip. That is a winner right there. That is such a winner. That sounds so good. This is why we do this. Come up with cool ideas like that. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah, we could do like a BLT, but with duck instead. Or like the duck skin. You know how crispy it can get? So what other traditional duck recipes are there? There's duck l'orange. So instead of l'orange, we could do pomme, which is apple. So ducks with applesauce. That sounds nice. We could do duck pierogies with applesauce, right? Yeah, that is such a winner. Peking duck with chia pancakes. I want to make that. You know what? Maybe one day when I do get some duck, we'll make that. That sounds so good. What a winner. Ugh. Make me feel so validated for making you guys do this exercise. I know that it's like torture to like participate in the chat and they're like, I don't know what to say, but these are great ideas. These are great ideas. Amazing. This is why I love this exercise, friends. Okay. I think that's good. We can keep rapping about it. If you get more ideas, you can tweet me, which is my name down here at Ranwiches. Oh, wait, blackened duck po' boy with applesauce remoulade? Excuse me, that sounds great. We could do like a crunchy chia seed, like crumb topping. Yum! Guys, you're killing it. This is great. Makes me so happy. This makes me so happy. Rad. Okay, so if y'all have more ideas, tweet me whenever you're brainstorming, whenever you're having trouble with, like, figuring out lunch or dinner, like, hit me up on Twitter. I love talking about this stuff. It might inspire another subject on the stream next week. Cool. So I think I'm going to wrap up here. So next week, I'll be back again Wednesday, 5 p.m. So far, we're going to talk about strawberries and gailan. And if you have another topic, either an ingredient or a recipe or a technique, I will happily dissect it for you and break it down and make it easier. So if you have suggestions for that, you can throw it in the chat or tweet me later. I will be here on Twitch at 12 p.m. Eastern on Sunday talking about Put an Egg on It, issue number 11, another independent zine, and then the commercial zine, so we can look at how these things are structured. I love taking it apart so that it will inform the ways that I edit my other magazines that I work on. So, yeah, I'll be here again Sunday at noon, and again Wednesday at 5 p.m., and don't forget, I'm guesting on Critical Bits on Friday at 1 p.m. We're talking about tabletop role-playing and being a woman of color while we play. Oh, thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's great to see some new faces and returning faces, of course. But it just gets better and better when there are more people to, contribute to the chopped part of the stream. So that was really fun today. So thank you for that. I appreciate you for sticking around. And I hope you have a good dinner and a good rest of the week. Everybody stay safe and vigilant in all of our efforts in the world. I hope you are well. And yeah, I'll see you on Twitch on Sunday or next Wednesday. Bye, friends!